Hi guys, it's been over a month. Dala and I had ringworm. She has a lot of energy right now, so she's not in the mood to like be held. Yeah, I had ringworm. I got it from my baby. She also got it in the shelter. So Tala got adopted on, I don't even remember, August like 6th or something. It was like the beginning of August, that first weekend of August. She and her litter mate actually got rescued. They were found like in a parking lot. They got rescued and they tested negative for ringworm on, I believe, July 27th. And then I adopted them like a week later. So she got it in the shelter. I adopted her, and yeah, I was like sleeping with her in my bed. I was holding her, cuddling with her, all the things. And then the shelter emailed me and they were like, hey, the cat that you adopted, her litter mate has ringworm, so you should get yours tested as well. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So a couple days later, I got out of the shower and I noticed that I had like red spots like on my arm, and they looked like rings. And so, I like looked up what does ringworm look like on a human. And I saw lots of very scary pictures. And I kind of came to the conclusion, like, I don't think this is a coincidence. I'm 99% sure that I got it from her. And then the next day I took her to the vet, and they looked at her. She had hair loss, which I didn't even notice. I like examined her, and I don't know why, but I like thought she was gonna have like scabs or something, or like, maybe like her skin would be peeling or something. Like, I don't know why when I was examining her skin, like, I guess I also was kind of looking for like visual, like irregularities in her skin, which I didn't see any. And then when they said hair loss, I like assumed like bald spots and like just hair all over the floor. And I've never had a cat before, so I also just didn't really know what to look for. So to me, I didn't think it was that bad. But when I took her to the vet and they showed me, I was like, oh, that's hair loss, because her ears were bare. Her front paws, because she would like hit herself or like touch her face with her paws, the inside of her paws was thinning. And then I didn't even notice until I took her back to the vet for the second time that her hind legs had like bald spots. So yeah, I've never had a cat before, so I didn't really know what to look for. So when they like showed me, I was like, okay, yeah, that not good. So what is ringworm? Ringworm is not a worm, contrary to popular belief. It's a fungus. Everybody's case is different. Like, again, when I was looking at pictures, like, there were some that were like, the rings were huge, versus for me, they're probably the size of like, they ranged like probably the size between like a dime to a nickel. And they were just literally everywhere. They got all the way down to my ankles. Thank God they weren't on my hands, they weren't on my feet, they weren't in the groin area, they weren't in my nails, they weren't on my scalp. And why I got so bad compared to like my boyfriend, for example, like, again, I'm completely covered in ringworm. My boyfriend, he obviously also got it because he was snuggling and cuddling with her too. But he was not as bad as I was. And even like one of my coworkers, she's gotten ringworm like multiple times at the gym. And she only would get like a couple like spots on her arm. They would be bigger, but she would only get a couple, versus me, I had like a billion small spots everywhere. And the reason why mine got so bad is because I got my wisdom teeth taken out. So they had me on steroids to help with like the swelling and inflammation. And steroids weaken your immune system, and they're basically fungal food. My doctor prescribed me an ointment. It only lasted a week. So I just went to CVS, got the literal same exact one. It was the same exact ingredient, same exact dosage, and I just did that. When I went to the dermatologist, I was like wearing like a tank top and stuff so they could like see everything. And my dermatologist, she like walks in and she's just like, dang girl, like what happened? And then she was like examining me and she's just like, yeah, let's get this girl some pills. And she gave me a pill to take every day for 2 weeks. So I did that on top of the cream, applying the cream at night out of the shower. Sometimes when I was at home, like working at home, I applied the cream in the morning and at night, and same thing like on weekends. But if I had to wake up and go to work, I wouldn't apply it in the morning because I wake up late and I didn't have the time to do all of that. So I would just apply it at night. The next 3 weeks of my life, horrible. First of all, face, body, everything, down to my ankles, covered in like red spots. She had to be quarantined in the bathroom. Luckily, I have 2 bathrooms, so she was in a bathroom that no one uses. I took everything out of there. I put like her litter box in there, I put some toys in there, her food, her water, anything that she would need was in there. And you know, every single day I'm wiping it down. Every single day I'm mopping. Every single day. And I'm giving her this like liquid that the vet gave me, and I have to do that for 5 weeks. So the first week I give her the liquid, the second week I don't, the third week I do, the fourth week I don't, the 5th week I give it to her. So I just had the last day yesterday. And so we're done. Me on the other hand, I can't just quarantine myself in a bathroom. You know, I have to sleep, I have to wear clothes, I have to walk around, make breakfast. If I have to go to the store, I gotta go to the store. I have a life. I gotta work. I gotta do all these stuff. So every single day, I'm washing my clothes. Like pajamas, I take them off, put them in the hamper. I do whatever, I wear my clothes to work, I gotta take them off, throw them in the hamper. I can't wear my clothes more than once. Like I can only wear them like once out of the day. I always made sure I had my hair back and pinned back, and I had my hair in a bun or in a high ponytail or whatever. I always made sure my hair was not touching my face or my back. I was always wearing socks. I will admit I did get a little lazy after 3 weeks. I was still cleaning things. I was still, like if I was like really cuddling with her, I made sure I took off what I was wearing, threw it in the hamper. I wouldn't really cuddle with her once I showered. Like I always made sure once I was done playing with Tala, that's when I would go shower, put on clean clothes, and then go to bed. My sheets, I didn't even sleep on my bed actually. So I washed all of my sheets, everything. And then once they were done, I folded them and I left them on my bed. I steamed my mattress and I sprayed it down with, I think like water, peroxide, and like some soap. And I just sprayed it down, steamed it, let it air dry. I slept on the couch because the couch is much easier to clean than my bed, because I would have to do that whole procedure every single day. So I just slept on the couch, and then I would just sleep with like a throw blanket. I had like 3 throw blankets, and then I would just kind of like rotate, or I had 2. I would just rotate like which ones I would use. So I would like sleep with my Sailor Moon one, and then the next day I'd sleep with like my beige one, and then wash them, and then same thing. And I steamed my couch every day and washed my blankets every day that I was sleeping with. If I went into her bathroom to like feed her or whatever, I would literally wear like foot covers and then throw them away. I had to wear gloves anytime I went in there, and then I had to throw them away. Just like everything was just so tedious, and it just took so much time, and it was so exhausting. I was spending so much money to buy gloves, to buy foot covers, to buy mopping stuff. I bought like the disposable mop things because, you know, I don't want to have to wash so much stuff every single day. So I just got these disposable mops, and like spending money on that, and then like spending money on the gloves, and like spending money on wipes, like disinfectant wipes. And there's probably way better cost effective things that I could have done, but to be honest, this is the first time I've ever had ringworm. First of all, I've never had ringworm before. One of my friends had it, but like when she was a kid, like she didn't really remember anything about it. My boyfriend, apparently, he has no memory of this, but he said his mom said he had it when he was a kid, but he has no memory of this. But like, you know, like I don't really know anybody that's had ringworm. I didn't really like know anyone to give me advice except for my doctor and my dermatologist, and the vet, and they all told me, yeah, you have to wash everything every day. And so, you know, in my head, like even if I'm like doing like Reddit and like Googling, like, you know, what do I do if I have ringworm? Like everybody just said like, yeah, it's like really annoying. You have to clean everything every single day. I feel like the way that I did it wasn't wrong. I feel like there could have been better ways, like cost wise. But at the same time, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know what I mean? Like if I have to spend money on disposable things, like that's fine as long as this infection goes away. My face cleared up pretty quickly. And it kind of just started from the top down. Like the ringworm appeared on my face and my arms first, and then my chest, and then my stomach, and then my legs, and my back. My legs and my back started showing at the same time. And then same process with healing. My face healed first, and then my chest, and then my arms, and stomach, and my legs are still healing. And I think my back has healed. When I say healed, I mean like, so my ringworm spots were like red, and now they just look like a little bit darker than my skin tone. You know, it just looks like I have like a tan in a circle. So, my circle tans. So, you know, when I say like my ringworm is healing, I just mean like, you know, the spots are fading away. Like, I mean, you honestly can't even see them on like this arm anymore. Like, and she scratched me because I had to give her a bath for the ringworm. And then I had a couple spots on my legs after all my other spots kind of like healed, and they were like crazy itchy, and I was like, what is going on? Like my spots were not itchy. Like some on my legs were, and like sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and like my arms would be itchy, but that was like it. But like after like all my other spots went away, I had like new ones, like probably like 3 or 4 on my legs, and then on my arms. They were so itchy, and I was like, what is going on? Like my other spots did not itch like this. And like that was honestly the worst part, was the itching, and like the having to be so clean, not being able to be with her. Like I felt so horrible leaving her in the bathroom. She would cry. She would just like, you know, whenever I would walk by and she'd hear me, she'd just start crying, and I just felt so bad. And like I got her for emotional support, and like I want to like hold her and cuddle with her, and we couldn't do that. And I could tell like she also needed me. She needed me to hold her. She needed me to like cuddle with her, and we couldn't do that, and it was like horrible. Another thing, I had to sleep with like sweats and like long sleeves because I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would be like itchy, and so I didn't want to like accidentally like scratch myself in my sleep and then make it worse, because if you scratch yourself and you have ringworm, you can develop like another skin infection, which is a whole nother thing that I didn't want to have to deal with. So I would make sure I wore like sweatpants and long sleeves. And I only have like 2 long sleeves. So if I had to wear like a short sleeve, then I'd wear a jacket over it. And so if I would like wake up and I'd be itchy, I would just kind of like go like this. Like I wouldn't actually like scratch myself, and then it would be fine. That was another thing too. Waking up in the middle of the night and just being itchy was horrible. So I would take like melatonin, but the thing with melatonin is I also just don't want to take it so many days in a row, because then my brain is going to be dependent on it. So even that was like another thing too. I didn't want to be taking it every single night. So I kind of just had to deal with it. If I woke up itchy, I would just put on some of the ointment and go back to sleep. I was just so sick of everything. I finally started sleeping in my bed again after, I believe, 3 weeks. I didn't even start sleeping with her again until this last weekend. So she wasn't even allowed in my room ever. Like, she stayed in the bathroom up to 3 weeks. I think once I took her to the vet after 3 weeks, I let her out in the living room again. But then that's when I noticed like my ringworm, like I had like those 4 new spots, right? And then each on my elbows. So I left her back in the bathroom, and then after a week I let her out again. I would only really let her out for like a few hours, to be honest. And then I believe by that time she would still sleep in the bathroom. I still wouldn't let her in my room or in my bed. So I want to say by about 4.5 weeks is when I finally started letting her in my room, on the bed, things like that. And then this last weekend, I started sleeping with her. And now we're done with all the medication. We're done with everything. I'm still taking a little bit of precautions. I'm still making sure I'm mopping things up, wiping things down. I still kind of don't really wear my clothes as often. Like, I make sure I switch out my pajamas. Like, might sound gross, but mind your business. I tend to wear the same pajamas for like a week straight. But like lately, like after at least 2 days, I get new pajamas. I'm cleaning like my bath towels more often. That was another thing too. I had to wash my bath towels every single day. I honestly didn't even use a washcloth because I didn't want like the abrasiveness to like rub the ringworm, and then because you know that's almost equivalent to like scratching, right? Because I use like an African net sponge, so I didn't want it to like irritate the ringworm, so I wasn't even using a washcloth at all. So I definitely felt kind of gross, but like having to wash my towel every single day, and like, you know, I didn't even have rugs in there. I took all like the rugs out. I wasn't even really wearing makeup. Like, I didn't use makeup brushes because I had like the ringworm on my face. I still did like skincare, putting on lotion on my body, wearing sunscreen. Honestly, yeah, I wore sunscreen, but I didn't really wear makeup. I didn't wear use makeup brushes. Yeah, it was like, it was seriously so horrible. It was just really annoying, just feeling like, you know, just feeling gross. And this is at the same time I got my wisdom teeth removed, so I'm also like experiencing pain in my mouth, and my tongue is numb, and I was just miserable. I was literally so miserable. I had to go into the dentist for my checkup for my wisdom teeth, and like, you know, my entire face is like covered in ringworm, and like my whole body, and I just felt like a literal leper. Like, I just felt like a leper, like actually, like just wearing jackets to go outside to cover up the ringworm, because it has to be covered. Like, even if I went to work, I had to keep it covered, and like avoid physical touch. I can't touch anybody. I had to wipe things down. Yeah, I just felt like a leper. Like, it was horrible. Like, I would have rather had COVID. Like, I told everybody this. I would rather have COVID then have ringworm again. And when I talked to the vet, you know, asking how can I prevent this from ever happening again, and he was like, honestly, like, you should be good. Like, first of all, she's an indoor cat. I want to train her to be an outdoor cat, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Even like if a window is open, like she doesn't like it. I was holding her and I brought her over to like an open window and she just started crying and I was like, relax. She likes to sit near the window. You know, she likes her cat TV. So I just think she likes the barrier. I was holding her and I took her out to the patio and my neighbor like walks to her car and I swear she thought like he was gonna come over and murder us. Like she was like freaking out and I was like, dude, like relax, like he's just going in his car. And she starts crying. She's like, oh my god, like she's freaking out. I'm like, all right, well, let's go back inside. So I don't know, I'm trying to condition her to be more used to being outside because, you know, I live in Texas. It's too hot outside. You know, I avoid the outdoors when it's 100 degrees, but when it's cooler, you know, if we go on a picnic or go to the park or I don't know, like I'd like to take her with me, put her on a leash. That's another thing too. I've been training her on the leash. We just walk in circles like in my apartment. But I want her, you know, like if we do go on like a picnic, like she can come and like she's good. But I don't know. She doesn't really like it. So we'll see if that actually happens. Yeah, a skin infection is not fun. Yeah, she's my baby. I got her, she was 3.5. No. She was 3 pounds when I got her. When I first took her to the vet, we found out she had ringworm. What was that, like 2 weeks after I got her? She was 3.5 pounds and she's like doubled in size since I got her. So she's probably like 5 or probably 4 pounds now. I don't think she's 5. But I mean, I would show you, but she might get mad at me for tossing her around like a rag doll. But like the tips of her ears, like all her hair is grown back. I mean, probably like the tip of her ears like are still a little bare. But again, I've never had a cat before, so I don't know if that's normal. Her paws perfectly back to normal. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Okay. Like if you were to look at her, like you wouldn't even be able to tell that she had hair loss. And the vet had told me too that hair loss, like with ringworm, hair loss is very unpredictable. It might grow back, it might not, and if it does grow back, it could grow back a different color, a different thickness. So they were like, you know, like there's really no telling if or how the hair will grow back. But all her hair grew back. Honestly, like I think I was probably worse than she was. Like, again, I was a leper. But I feel like she was fine. She was just ready to get out of the bathroom. But yeah, so that's my update. Not the update I was hoping to give you guys, but we'll do another update that hopefully doesn't have bad news. But yeah, and I appreciate all like the love that I got on the video of me preparing to get her and then getting her. That like video got like more views than I normally do, and like some new people got introduced to my channel. So yeah, thank you guys for all like the support, and you can follow me on Instagram. I post about her all the time, and on my TikTok, like my TikTok is like all her, and so yeah, you can see more content about little baby Tala. Thank you guys again for all your support, and I will see you in my next video. Tala, you want to say bye? She's cleaning herself. Okay, bye everyone.